Welcome back, second
back,
half.
ladies and gentlemen.
So we missed about 5 seconds in the camera malfunction.
Yeah, look, it was a little bit of a dead 5 seconds. Nothing much did happen.
And Mussey's instantly chose to keep that in. Looked as if he was rolling out.
Should have brought gloves, I think, Ari. There's a little bit on the chilly side.
It's nice and chilly today.
It's a Canberra winter that's prime for football, I think.
That's it. Sun's shining in the sky, chill wind in the air. You couldn't ask for better.
I think we've reached the peak of the environment.
That's absolutely it.
If this is a factor of climate change, bring it on.
Absolutely. Kieran and Mussey just disagreeing a bit over who they should take the ball, but they've broken number 7's ankles. I think they sent a message there.
I just want to give a shout out to you.
Or Jimmy first charging down the line. He's looking in the box and he chooses to take it himself. And that's a good play from the keeper.
Yeah, just a shout out to Hugh for his endorsement of the commentary of the first half. Our job is nothing without the fans, and
I do appreciate him requesting this because I'm
glad
to know we're wanted because I don't feel so wanted right now.
I'm feeling a little bit at odds with the job.
Maybe a bit nicer at home territory, almost surrounded by our friends and family.
Our own brethren, yeah.
That's right, what can you do? That's why the cookie crumbles sometimes. Oh, and Jackson a bit upset. Oh, and the grabber bench are giving it to him.
Akin to Gallipoli, aren't you?
Ooh.
Here we go. Robbie.
Bit scrappy on the edge of the box. Is Graham look to get a chance?
Scrappy, they look hungry. So do Marist, though.
Both teams seem to want it. It's pretty... Ooh. And that's just...
Is the audio on?
I'm not very happy with the referee, although I could... see a bit of bad sportsmanship coming out.
I think it's the heat of the derby.
It is. His emotions get the better of you.
Emotions, they do boil over sometimes.
We're only human after all of us, really.
I think it's the player's job to turn that boil down to more of a simmer.
And Angus Murray with the pressure, unfortunately getting nutmegged. He will not be happy
Angus
about
Murray
that.
is not one to let stuff simmer.
No, absolutely not.
He does take it at somewhat of a boil.
Boiling is an understatement. That's a really good slide tackle. He almost got near the ball.
Keyword is almost.
You can just feel the game's getting a bit heated now. Everyone, even in the crowd, it's just getting a bit intense. And that's
the tension is palpable. If I were to label it.
That's why I live for the thrill of the under-18s Division 1 competition. That's well done by Angus Murray to win a throw-in from Marist.
It is right on from Angus Murray, and look who's going to take it. Kieran McKenna.
He looks down line, but he's going to give it to Mussey Clef instead.
It was an unfortunate injury to kick off the season for one Kieran McKenna, but he's come back now. He's come back with a vengeance.
Fitter than ever.
He has come back fitter than ever. I think it's the beard.
It is. Intimidates the opposition. That's good pressure from Caden. He's got a leap forward pressure, see? Now Angus Murray's looking. That's unfortunate slip.
Unlucky for Angus Murray.
I'm just worried these few small parts of his games are going to get in his head. He's a fantastic player, but he gets in his own head. And that is a great ball.
That is a fantastic goal from Brummer.
And that is a wonderful team goal.
It is a wonderful finish. It's a wonderful delivery. And
it's perfect. And you can tell how good it is and how happy with themselves they are. Substitutes running on. Keeper running up.
We said elation in the first half. I'm trying to think of a superlative for
And that's
for
the thrill of the
elation.
under-18s comp. You get people celebrating like they won the grand final when they just scored a goal in a normal game. It's why we love this game so much. Sam.
May I repeat, this is not the grand final. Results may vary, I think could be said. And I think it is contingent again on the injuries. Two in recuperation, namely yours truly and Mr. Handsome Murray himself. Ready to come back. Hopefully, well, not maybe soon for Ari, but there are other injuries who are waiting in the wings, and there's a good shot. That is a great goal. It's another goal. It's becoming somewhat of a rout here. And again, this is not the grand final, and I know that your eyes may deceive you, but this is in fact the league game.
And you got to wonder if the goalkeeper's panting from running up and down twice in a row.
Yeah.
But heads up, Marist!
Oh, yeah, you cursed that. You're like, just being a bit too greedy, smacks it top in.
Well, look, it's still a team sport. We can't forget that. Name goes on the score sheet. Doesn't mean you forget that he had options to pass to, I think. Oh no, not again.
Hey, mate, may have another go.
And you think
that
they're getting a bit ambitious at this point.
Ambitious or ambitious, you know?
Because I think they're remembering that for the past 2 years, whenever they've played against Mia, they've actually lost every single time. And I think it's really getting to them that they can't actually get back with that revenge. So you can just see it coming out
So
on
they're
the
just
field.
trying to exercise their demons in this game. The demons being Ari.
That's it. Actually, I don't think a single player on this field has lost a game in a couple of years, so they're really setting the tone. About to make it a first loss in a while.
Okay, yeah.
And that'll be a tough one to take, but it's part of ups and downs of the season.
You do need to give them a little bit of bait to get them at their best.
Yeah, come
on, Daniel. Yeah, come on.
You can't be lost what we're saying.
We're running out of choice words, Daniel.
Yeah, Marist looking for a comeback. We'll have to pull something incredible out of the locker. But speaking of incredible, Rylan Seminus with a great run. With a great cross, it's going to reach Angus Murray for a shot. Angus Murray on the left, and that's a great save.
Oh, that is a good save.
That's a great save. He's having a big day, this goalkeeper.
You know, Ari, you said that this is the first loss that this Marist team has seen in a while, or prospective loss.
It really is.
I think you do have to let the other teams get something on the board so they don't give up.
You see, Sam, if I could use an analogy, this is like getting your heart broken. So you got that gym motivation for the end of the year.
You do need the gym motivation.
So,
and I think we're seeing the gym motivation coming through this game today.
It sets up a huge grand final.
We talked earlier about momentum, but which way is it actually swinging? You know?
You see, it's swinging Grammer's way, but could it be swinging too far?
Speaking of swinging, there was an in-swinging cross, and
that was a good one.
I know.
And that he looks to keep it in, and he's done well to keep it in. But
Hayden,
that is a great touch from Hayden.
He's turned the field into one of desolation. It's anarchy everywhere where that man walks, and
absolutely,
it's been remarkable this season.
And that's a Grammer throw far down in their half.
You know, I'm running out of analogies to encapsulate Amansard. Sorry.
And they really look to put the nail in the coffin here, Grammer. But
James, don't have a word.
Trying to hold on. We're commentating team. A word from your sponsor, James Katsonis.
This is the Shark speaking. As you guys might remember, I carried this team last year. Anyways.
Wait, so James, were you the fine young man who scored the two winners against Grammer last year?
Yes, I did.
So not one, two.
It must hurt to see your old club going down 3-0.
Yeah, it does hurt.
But it's alright, it's part of the ups and downs.
You know, Ari and I were talking about motivation, and I think it all comes down to motivation.
Tell them
today.
if they win, I shout them all fucking. I shout them all.
It's on Srudy's camera.
I'll shout them all prosies later. Rippers. Sorry. So it's going on YouTube.
Apologies for any children watching that.
No under 18s allowed to watch.
This is James Katsonis. He actually used to go to Grammar, so make of that what you will.
We'll change to the better school. Well, technically I can go for other teams, so.
That is fair. Hey, your old school's winning either way.
Yeah, no, go on.
Good man, good man.
Oh, I see head of school as well. Just a few minutes.
That sounds about right.
The ball don't looks like
I've been commentating the whole game.
That's an outswinging corner this time, and it looks to work well. That's a great header from Jackson.
Are you an outswinger fan or an in-swinger fan?
You see, when I play FIFA on the PlayStation, I'm an in-swinger, but I think in practical situations, I like an outswinger.
For me, I think it has to swing both ways, and you have to have a balance.
You got to have both in your
swing it
locker.
into the goal, and that's the main thing.
That's it. Look, a goal's a goal, bro. An outswinger with onside on the back post has worked a treat for Marist so far this season.
We've been starved of treats today, haven't we?
Is that Angus?
Angus, yeah,
That's filthy. That's filthy.
I did great ball. Ben Braden's getting into that. And a huge side tackle. Alex Gunn's kept that in.
Don't be a
That's a great
I'll
touch.
whip it in.
That's still in.
It's unfortunate.
That's great play from the young fella.
I think unfortunate would be the word I'd use. You know, nothing of his own fault.
You can't fault the young fella. He's had a huge debut so far.
How many subsidies my lockers have, bro? Look.
Yeah. Oh, their squad's like twice the size of ours. Stop zooming you on camera.
That's alright. They're making some fun.
Yeah, but Mr. Srudy's going to watch it back before he says you get in big trouble. I'm going to miss this content from school. We're going to call Yarra Kebabs and put a complaint about an employee.
It's not on work time. Technically. I've got to get to work soon. I've got enough time to watch.
It's actually good this is close to work, eh?
Yeah, it's like what, 5-10 minute drive? I'd make it 2 minutes if I wasn't in the over.
What's happened to your legs? Why'd you drive that?
Too many Ks, too many, it's a headache, bro. It's got too many Ks, too expensive fuel, I'm selling it. I bought a rotary, even more unreliable.
And Rafi looks to claim this one.
He doesn't look to, he does. I think that really sums up Ari. Sorry, Rafi.
You got a feel for the young fella. 3-0's harsh on any goalkeeper. You can't put him at fault for the goals.
So if that was Ari
They're
regardless
well
in there,
worked.
would have been nil.
They're well worked goals in the game. You can't blame the keeper. Cade's in the middle for a finish, and that's well planned. It's well planned. That's what we're doing positive commentary here, Jimmy.
No, I was saying because it went through the grammar guys' legs.
No, we got it.
Oh, okay.
You have to keep the dig subtle.
Yeah, but everyone has to know that. Well, that's Caden's pounced onto that like a lion on his. And Alex looks to press that down line and good pressure from Alex. Well done, Alex.
Go on, President!
Marist out of subs.
I know. It's a term of flattery.
Mate, I'll chuck on a jersey. Wait, why don't we have any subs?
Team's just short. That's a Sam and I both shouldn't be playing, so it should be 14. But then Alex and Rafi shouldn't be, so it should be 12 anyway.
No, but then Archie.
Is it me, you Archie?
Come on, David.
Oh, who else?
Is that David?
No,
that's
maybe he is.
We had 13, right? Because our team was 14, but Ronnie had already done his ACL.
True,
Which is a 13-man squad. Me, you, Archie were all out.
Which is already rough.
Zambia.
And then we moved Mussy up, so then we moved back up to a 14-man squad because he was originally in the squad.
Zambia for 2 years.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
that got the squad numbers a bit more even. I'm chasing that. He looks elegant. You can really, this man came
He is elegant.
second in the ACT 100 metre, the ASC 100 metre sprints, and you can really see it when he plays on field. Oh, a bit overhit from Ben Wade. It's actually
Was it
perfectly hit. I
though?
apologise.
Take him on.
Angus is making an option there, and he's taking the option to Caden.
Oh, play advantage.
Who's this? Oh,
Ref's
They're
on
not
crack.
happy with
I
this
used to
score.
have this ref. This ref's
I bet you that guy's
Interesting
like
Angus Murray in his left foot. You can only wonder if Jeremy Firth or Jackson's better.
Oh, you want to take over the camera, Chris?
Not particularly,
Oh,
but
well, I'll let you, mate.
I apologise for not watching the first half when I was on camera. I'm not very good at keeping it. The three of them are having a conversation. They'll all want to take it. Only one of them can.
That's
Obviously,
usually how free kicks work, yeah.
it'd be pretty silly if two people kicked it at the
I
same
don't think
time.
this will be a
Angus
Tarrant
is
special. I
gonna-
think
Angus
it
is
will
gonna
be
get top
another Ango lad classic. Or maybe even Marcy.
Angus, you make this. I actually like one of your TikToks.
And Jackson chooses to take it, and he's gone far post, and he's hit it!
That is beautiful.
And I do apologise. I said that it wouldn't be a Jackson Tarrant special, but it in fact was. I
believe
think
it
that
was-
was more than special.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just witnessed the greatest free kick of all time. Messi in the Champions League, who? What'd you do? Oh, I believe it was a wise young Sam Skill Clues who described him as a magician, huh?
Well, you know, the word
Jackson
magician
Tarrant.
did come up earlier, and I think that was one of the tricks that we talked about, and I think this is a nice full circle moment.
It's Jackson Houdini pulling something special out of his locker week in, week
Sorry,
out.
this is the start of the Real Madrid.
That's it, comeback season's
How
on.
many games has it been?
You know, we're on demon time now.
This will be the 10th. No, or 8th. But including, so we play 4 teams and then 1 bye.
Yeah. How many games do you have left?
Bunch. Or we have like another 5, like 7?
Yeah, so.
So we end up playing 15.
If I get my car ready by then.
Maybe doable there for Rafi to take.
I'd never blame the goalkeeper. I think that's just a bit too harsh. But no, you can't. I think I missed it. I apologise if I missed that goal. I was not really paying attention.
And
Gareth,
now-
just putting the nails in the coffin, you have to assume.
And Jackson Houdini's free kick has been rendered null and void in the grand
Counteracted instantly.
landscape of the game.
And you can only assume there's a personal vendetta against Angus Murray after his rather arrogant TikTok video he posted.
What do you post?
Infamous TikTok video. Even the parents know about that.
Too late. He just.
I think
we
the
beat
term,
Gamma
I think the
seconds and he
term
made a
grammar
TikTok
who was
about
thrown
Gamma.
around.
Yeah, we're gonna cop it after this. Lucky I don't
They're
get
all going to make one.
They're all getting the Marist.
Lucky.
To be fair, I kind of respect it'd be pretty good from them if they did.
I think it'd be labelled as a cheap knockoff. It's going to be made. There can
Caden
only be
Eady looking
one-
to work on his own. It's a bit harsh. I'd call that a natural position, but what can you do? I'm not the referee.
I think Caden has made a name of himself for being in a natural position. He just seems to be naturally floating around the box. I think the word fox was thrown around. Fox in the box.
Got about half an hour left. So, Marist, if we can get a goal every 10 minutes, that'd average out
We,
4 all.
we do need to pace ourselves here.
Just got to. You worry with the short amount of subs where the fatigue kicks in.
You do worry about fatigue, but then again, you've got players like your Ryans and Ryan who are very fit.
Oh, absolutely.
So
It's absolute engines.
I'm gonna stand away from the camera for a second.
Alright, see you later, brother.
What's this? You gonna come watch on Tuesday?
If I'm free, I will.
Yeah, cool.
That's why I didn't come last week. I was busy and I had to
We
wait for him.
had Chris come watch. You know Security's cousin?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was fan. He's a disaster.
Huge ball from Angus Murray. Ben
could
Wade
this be
streaming
one of
into
the
the left.
three?
Could Ben Wade hit it from long? Unfortunately, he's tackled. Get it out. Oh, and keeper's going to claim this one, but Ben's going to put a bit of pressure. And he's done well.
We have been robbed today of a Ben Wade classic, but there is still time. Could it happen?
It could. Young Benjamin Wade is known to
question.
make a goal out of nothing. He's a
He
real
can make them
special
from scratch. He is a chef in that manner.
He's got that fiery attitude, that you can't create. You're born with it or you're not. That's a huge long ball, but
but
Massimiliano Klepp just not having it.
It is class from him. It's a great clearance.
Oh, and they play the long throw, and it's Amon Sarge just refuses to get beaten in the air. But Grammar looked to make it 5.
Nice, here we go.
That one did make me jump a bit. I'm not gonna shy away from it. We have gotten lucky there. Sorry, not we, Marist.
Marist, yeah.
Marist.
I'm not affiliated with the club. I'm a neutral commentator. And the ball's just rolled out for a Marist throwing.
I think the debate of grammar who may be coming up a little bit more frequently.
It
after
may be
this
coming
game.
up.
I think it will become a
You can
debated
see
topic.
maybe some players with some smug comments to Angus Murray at the end of the game, and you can't blame him, to be fair. It was a bit
You
bit
can't,
patronising.
no. Knowing Angus Murray, observing Angus Murray,
Yeah.
would you say that he would clap back at those arguments? Would you say that his ego is there to try to claim back his territory, if you will?
You see, it's hard to say with Angus. He's not a bad guy by any means. He's just desperate to get those views on TikTok, so he'll do what it takes.
I think Angus Murray is enigmatic.
Really, that's a great way to describe it. Speaking of which, he's fiery staying.
Speaking of enigmatic, and here's the free kick score, and
and that's a
rough
harsh foul on
tackle
Jackson.
from the back. Yeah.
It's pretty. I think they're angry at him. Really.
Again,
They're
the
clear.
heat is back. It is getting
You can
fiery in
tell.
the kitchen.
25 minutes
tell.
left of this fine second half.
We can
Grammar-
feel it here. We can feel
I
it.
can feel, my hands are cooking.
If only the people at home could see the crowd.
Yeah.
It's droves of people out here. They've come to watch the show.
Jeremy Firth looks to whip this in back post. It could go for a surprise shot, but it wouldn't be
I
the
do
best
believe that this is Jeremy Firth's territory.
call. Look, anywhere on the field is Jeremy Firth territory. The man can do special things with the ball. Oof. That's a shot on target.
Push at the back.
Is that an interesting? Is that a penalty shot?
Marcy Clapp, look at the speed on that lad getting back.
And it bounces near Armand's side, and there's only one winner there. Armand. A man never gets beaten. And Jeremy's done well to keep it in. Ah, but it's rolled out now.
Does end up going.
Hey, David, just switch. It's more like it.
Seemed like you knew the linesman there, Ari.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a
You just call everyone that.
I've become acquainted with the linesman over a long commentary career.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
You're working closely with each other.
I do idolise your career, as a young lad myself. I used to watch your games and go, I want to be this lad.
I really appreciate
So
it.
it is an honour to be here today.
It's really humbling hearing something like
Just
that.
speaking in your vicinity is somewhat of an honour to Medal of Honour for me.
That's Angus Murray doing well to stream through the middle.
Class from Mango
And he's
lad.
going to play a ball down line. That's a great one from Alex, who looks to cross it in. Oh, that's a
and
good
that
touch
is
from
unlucky.
Gavin.
It is unlucky. It was a good ball, it was a good run, it was a good spread.
It's a great run from Alex. I've said it once and I'll say it again. My man, on his first game for the first 11, is having a huge outing.
We saw the play from the middle. I think it could be deduced that Ango is in fact a master of spreading.
Could you call Alex a future captain 2 years' time?
Oh, look, you know, he does have that mark on his shoulder now. He does have this notch on the belt, and I think it would be, I'd be remiss if I said that straight out no, but it will be dependent on the characters that we see flowing through the squad. You know, you want to talk about MPL characters and such.
Marist done well to clear it, but only as far as
Do you have any plans post-game, Ari?
Not particularly, yeah. Just got to do some homework for my next match.
Okay, yeah.
How about you, Samuel?
Oh, I'm in the same boat, you know, as a young line myself, I have to kind of do, you know, at least twice much of the prep as a veteran like you to try to reach the same level. So I do find myself working overtime quite often.
It's a tough job at the start.
It is a tough job, but it's a rewarding job, and to be here with all the
Absolutely.
fans behind us and all of the fans around us to support us in the job, I think we're blessed.
It's not something you can describe. It's an honour, really.
It is.
Truly.
It's ineffable. I
Actually,
think.
when the bloke kicked my finger and injured me and took me out for the season, I actually said thank you. Because
said
I was looking for a commentary career instead of playing. I was really grateful for what he's done to me. Although if you're watching this, not cool, man. Like I'm not playing because of you.
Blessing and a curse, you know.
Absolutely.
You know. We turn left, we turn right, but in the end, there's only one destination, and I think that our destination was right here.
That's absolutely it. Our course took a bit of interesting turns, but you know what they say, Sam?
Speaking
you can't
of
make an
turns.
omelette without breaking eggs.
That is true, you know. Have you ever tried making an omelette without breaking the eggs?
I haven't.
I think you do look like a little bit of a goof. You do end up looking like a bit of an egg yourself.
Yeah. And he looks to waste a bit of time here, and I don't blame him. I'd do the same thing if I was in his shoes. But as a striker, that is a very frustrating thing for the goalkeeper to do.
I think, you know, as I have played striker for many years in my career, and it has been frustrating as well when I see it
Absolutely.
happening.
But goalkeeper's code, if you get the chance to time waste, do it. And number 6, more like Lionel Messi. Did you see that turn? Woohoo!
I really enjoyed the woohoo from you there, Ari. I want to hear that more.
It's just, being a commentator as myself, I get excited. I can't keep...
I get excited as well, and I think half of that just comes from being here in the presence of a veteran of the field and a legend of the industry. They say no friends in the industry, but I feel blessed to call you my friend.
And Grammar. Is that a penalty?
Great tackle.
And he has not called it.
A superb tackle, and
That's a huge challenge. Very controversial. Could have been 5-1. Although I would back Rafi to save it any day of the week. But Grammar would have had that chance.
They call it a penalty. I call it saving practice for Rafi.
Giving Rafi something to do on a cold afternoon.
They often say, can you do it on a cold, rainy night at Stoke? I think Rafi's proved that the answer to that question this afternoon has been yes.
Unfortunately, Marist College Canberra have failed to prove they can do it. Interestingly enough, our rugby team failed to beat Ghana for the first time in years this year.
Oh, they did, okay. So it
looks like...
I feel like this kind of pales in comparison to that spectacle.
The school rivalry continues to prevail, really, on the pitch. You can definitely tell.
Well, you can tell that the heat is more prevalent versus any other match that I've seen, that I've had the honour of spectating and let alone commentating this year.
I think what's happened is Angus Murray on one side and Massey Klepp are all part of the Marist athletic teams that won yet again.
Okay.
And there's got to be some animosity towards them, for it's Angus Murray. He makes TikToks, he celebrates,
he's a fiery character.
He gets in people's head.
He looks injured, he's limping.
Angus Murray is limping. This doesn't look
Angus
good.
Murray is limping. He does seem to be limping each week.
He's had ankle problems. He's a trooper.
There was a recent interview where he stated he was going to run until his feet fell off, and I think that we've seen that today. I think that his feet are indeed close to falling off.
And that's a long ball. Kieran McKenna's going to eat that up.
It's class.
He knows what he's doing, and he's going to look down the line. And he's tries to go himself, but I'm on sides there to
really
clear it up.
lucky with the poor touch. Bit of a McKenna classic. And now
Bryce has just calmed it down. And Angus will try and keep that in, but unfortunately he can't. Head up, Angus. And there's us trying to be polite, you know, just...
Oh, and that was controversial.
I love that.
It's a bit of a
challenge. Kieran McKenna, the man with the beard, maybe not acting mature as he looks.
almost a corner here. I'll be interesting to see if they swing it in
It's
or
almost
out.
a corner.
Marist got a nice deep line just on the edge of the 6-yard box there. Sorry, it's hard to see the free kick take. We've got some parents in the end, but you can see them on the left
Just
there.
imagine a throw in,
Just-
a free kick. Sorry,
Just pictures, just in the left there.
just lift it.
Daniel, come to your Spanish one. Hola, señores, señorita. Daniel Meza. Sorry, I cannot speak Spanish. Sorry for that attempt. I think they want him to go down based off the calls on the field, but he's gone near post. And Armand is he's all over it. And Marist failed to clear it yet again. And Alex wins it back. And
That is good play.
good speed. He's got great speed there. And Jerry Firth making a big run. Yeah, Sam, do you reckon you can just hold this for a bit? I
Oh, I reckon I could take
found
over
myself
the
missing the
duties.
ball a lot. It's probably a problem.
I think we'll swap ends now. And it feels weird to be on the left side of a legend. Find myself more comfortable on the right.
I apologise to the referee. And that'll be a Marist throw in, despite what the goalkeeper might try and convince you of. The ball's gone to Marist College Canberra.
Look, the keeper's been a little bit of a tricky individual.
To be fair, I am prone to the same thing myself. It doesn't matter who it comes off, you claim it and you
You
just
do
hope
claim it,
hope
and
that you can
you
kind of-
hope for a blunder.
That's
what
it.
you
Like
hope
if
for.
the referee's in doubt and he hears you call it, sometimes they'll give it your way.
Yeah.
It's a strategy. It works very well.
It is exploiting confusion, and I think
It's not quite moral, but
there
it
is
is a
some,
strategy.
you know, you want to talk about ethical business, we can talk about ethical football, and I do think
And
Oh.
Jerry Firth's been taken out with no call.
missed the ball.
That's pretty harsh to chip the ankles and not give a call, but you know what? That's just how the cookie crumbles.
You've said that a couple of times today. How many cookies are there to crumble?
It just
I think
depends
we're
on
running
the
out of
players.
cookies.
You know what, Sam? It's just the game never fails to amaze me. I'll never stop seeing a cookie just crumbling in different directions. You know,
Do you see the players as cookies?
I could not see a player crumbling unless I see a crunching tackle from one side. But he's taken it too far. He's done well to beat Bryce, but unfortunately overtouched it. So that'll be a Rafi goal kick.
Will be a Rafi goal kick. And you know we've heard tales, we've heard murmurings of his goal kicks. Could we see one today? No. The answer is a resolute no.
Jackson Tarrant long
Will
ball.
be a Jackson
He's got
Tarrant
good
classic. He does
Good
have
header
good
from Jack, and
distance.
Jerry Firth looks to pressure this.
He's doing a little bit more than pressure. He's making a real threat here.
And now Angus Murray's unfortunate. Good win from Angus.
Jack Janky can't quite stretch enough to get the ball.
Do you think Angus is going to go home in tears and delete his video, or do you think he'll try and stay true to himself? And
Look,
keep it up?
Obviously, I don't know Angus personally, but seeing him in the past, I think he's one to keep it up.
He does.
Yeah, see you later.
See you later.
Here's
See,
a-
he looks to go short, but he's sending it a bit longer.
Again,
Angus
it
Murray's
is
gonna
deceiving. It is deceiving
Looks can be
play.
deceiving, Sam. You never make assumptions in a sport like this. I've come to learn.
You don't judge a book by its cover unless that cover is Kieran McKenna shaped.
And Kieran looks to take the throw in. He's got Armand back easy if he wants. He looks like to take that option, and the number 9 has
Oh, and
predicted
he's
it.
been a little bit
And
sneaky
He's been a bit
there.
tricky.
Bit of a tricky
seems
fella.
uncalled for. He's down 4-1. He seems a bit arrogant for someone who's losing.
Oh, and that was
That's a bit rough.
little
I
bit.
think.
He got sturdy, but did he get a little bit too sturdy?
I'm not sure. Look,
question.
shoulder to shoulder, you can only assume it's fair, but the referee has his perspective, and
The real question is, can you be too sturdy? Is there a cap on sturdiness?
I think Armand Sarr demonstrates the cap on sturdiness.
I would have to agree with you.
Anything at that level is almost too much.
Does it play in with the gel?
It must.
I think it's a given.
I think he doesn't actually use hair gel. I heard his hair is just as sturdy as his torso is, and it just stays in place by itself.
Does he do hair curls at the gym?
I think he does.
Okay,
I've
yeah.
heard rumours.
I've heard.
Interesting to see the construction workers come back on Monday, seeing all the marks left by the balls that have been kicked in here today. They'll be pretty upset with us.
If I was them, I would be on the phone straight away crying to the boss.
I'd have some words.
To the boss man. Yeah.
But fortunately, it's not us. We're just the commentators.
You know, I do have a respect for them. They would have to deal with this, and I don't think I would be solid enough to kind of take it on the chin and move forward.
Absolutely. Grandma looked to counter-attack here, and they've done well. Mish with a good pass, but Bryce is going to win it back again, and he's going to look to switch it up, but unfortunately intercepted. Only for Alex Gunn to sweep it up.
Have gotten lucky there, and here's McKenna again, the man who is judged by his cover.
Sounds like you're not the biggest fan of Kieran, Sam.
I am a big fan of Kieran. I do see him on TikTok. He
does feature a bit.
We have had interactions in the past. He is a good lad.
I just think he looks like a traditional fine young man with a tucked-in shirt.
He does look like a fine young man. You know, he's taken the creeds of Ryan Greer and he's applied them to a time where I guess you could say we've been Greerless.
And he's done well with the game murders it. You can see 22 young men on the field and one with a tucked-in shirt, and you got to assume that's the most respectable young man out there.
Yeah, you'd kind of paint him as the alpha fine young man.
Despite the overgrown stubble. Oh, that's a foul throw.
It is a foul throw. That's
an
not
interesting call, but he's got to get back here.
Not the finest thing I've seen, and Angus Murray's there to clean up the scraps. Well done, Gussie.
I like how we're only complimenting Angus and no one else. Just give him that moral boost that I think he needs at a time like this.
Oh,
he looks to hold it up and turn, but Armand doesn't get turned. I've heard a rumour. I've heard he wakes up every morning and gets a piece of paper and writes a word turned on it.
Yeah.
And then he rips that piece of paper into shreds because he refused to get turned. If you got your back to him, you can't get around him, I heard.
Talking of shred, I mean, look at him on side. Wow. The incredible bulk has been a moniker that I've heard before.
I once heard an interview where he stated plans with friends didn't turn out and he was quite relieved because he got to go to the gym instead.
Did these plans involve you, Ari?
I think they might have.
Oh, it's a late change. Call the substitution.
And there's a new change. It is Caden coming on for
Bryce. Oh, Marcy's coming on for Bryce.
For a Bryce. Oh, and Marcy's coming on.
Some fresh legs up top, hoping for a 4-goal miracle, which seems unlikely at this point. You'd have to assume.
Was Caden not playing earlier in the game?
No, he was, but we did read a rolling subs. Like he'd come off and on and off and on. But he's fresh legs because he's had that 5-minute breather, you know.
Stranger things have happened, you know, than a 5-goal miracle.
You know, people have won the lottery with a 1 in whatever billion chance of that.
I'd say that would be accurate. You know, you cast your mind back to the Leicester story of a couple of years ago.
Absolutely.
To the Lewandowski story at Wolfsburg, and you know
the Roma comeback against Barcelona. Angus there with a foul burner attempt. What a turn! The Roma beating Barcelona. You can only think of the great Peter Dutton. Talking about Peter Drury, my apologies.
Peter Dutton's a politician.
My apologies. I get my fancy people confused.
That's all right, mate.
Peter Dutton is a politician.
Great, Manolas, the great god in Rome, the words that I...
You can only assume, could Caden Eadie make himself the South African god at grammar? Do you reckon that's possible?
Look, I think it's more than possible. I don't think he has anything to prove anymore. I think Caden he kind of eclipses the sport, if I'm being honest.
He got the only goal of the last matchup, which is quite interesting.
He did get the only goal.
We've got a big goal affair this week. There's a big change up in the... It's almost if Marist is missing a key defender and key goalkeeper or something, right?
That is an aspect that's been brought up a couple of times.
That's a huge one from Angus Murray with a very commanding slide tackle.
Will that one be called? And I do believe Anthony Cerruti is calling for a sub.
Angus looks like he needs to come off.
And Ango Lad rolls off the pitch. You know, he would have been expecting more. He would have been anticipating a little bit more this game.
He would have.
Again, the sentiment of Grammar Who would be running thick through his mind.
You can only wonder if he's injured, will this put a halt to his TikTok career, or can he find a way with a sore ankle to continue to make content for us to enjoy?
I think if anything, it's an incentive to keep going, to even escalate the content
to
potentially.
To
adapt and overcome. He is.
And that's good pressure from Marist to force a throw in.
It was good. Here comes Marcy. He's going to go for the throw. It's a big throw.
Long dome. That's one by Gunner, but Ryland's there again. And you've got to be honest, one day if the team's watching this on the whiteboard, they really appreciate our input and understand the game a bit more insightfully.
I like to think of us as the intellectual subtitles.
Absolutely. Caden was making a huge run there, but Firth chose not to take it. Caden's standing miles offside.
He was on actually. Number 6 was playing him on there.
My apologies, Sam.
No worries. You know, we can't see everything.
I am only human, what can I say? I've only got 9 working fingers, so I can't see.
Didn't see my girlfriend cheating on me.
He looks to play a ball in, but who's waiting for it?
Just joking, of course. It was the other way around.
It's a time. How much longer do we have?
Probably 10-ish minutes.
So with 10 minutes to go, you'd have to assume Marist are playing for pride at this point.
Well, Lewandowski, 5 goals in 9 minutes. That would leave us with time.
Although, and I hate to admit this, I think there's a bit of a discrepancy between Lewandowski and Caden.
Oh, fantastic.
And first done well to win that back out of the goalkeeper's hands. He looked to have grabbed it, but maybe he just got a foot there.
I don't think he was off on the ball.
He didn't.
He comes charging down the wing. It's a good run.
He looks to switch.
It's a great run from the number 7.
But Marcy Clerp's having none of it.
He is having none of it. He seems to be a man with a no-nonsense attitude.
He certainly is. Just eyes on the prize. The game's what matters. Just constant focus.
Eyes on the prize with the slight distraction of his undershirt.
Which seems to have worked against him this week.
It does seem
And
to
that's a
have
great
worked
through ball.
against him,
Graham will
and
look to make
it's
it
a great
5.
ball.
Is he going to finish?
Oh, it's superb.
And
They do. They put it in for another. And I believe the question of grammar who has been answered today.
It certainly
They
has
have
been
said
answered.
grammar us. And they put their foot down. And they said grammar who, grammar us.
One can only wonder if we're going to see some TikTok videos tonight saying Marist too. We could only Oh no! What's happening here?
Maybe a little bit of a
Was this a
biff.
card?
Oh, and they've come on again, and
That's it. They got to keep their attitude in check sometimes. You think there's getting carried away and there's having a good time. There's a
Maybe
a
it's-
line.
maybe it's grammar yellow card FC because they've seemed to be shown a few today.
That is 2 in one game.
That is 2 in one game, and if they were in the same play, remind me what would happen, Ari.
That'd be a red card.
Would be a
I
red card. What does that mean?
Obviously, fortunately for them, it wasn't a red card.
It was not a red card. It was a separate player. It was one of the substitutes, I believe.
I think they want more. So they're hungry for more. They really
They
want
are
to
hungry.
see This grammar who, grammar us mentality. They
Believe?
looked to score again early, but on side refuses to let it happen. He's really asserting.
I
his
don't think
position.
Lego men have that much diversity in their range of movements. I think he's eclipsed the moniker. Eclipsed, rather. And here they come again, Grammar. You know, they look like Oompa Loompas, but they're moving like wizards, you know.
They've outplayed Marist in every aspect of the game, Savo, if we're being honest.
Except for commentators.
So absolutely.
Except for commentators.
I'm yet to see a
Sorry.
grammar person filming with commentary, but
Yeah.
although if you ask some
We'll see.
people around us, they might say we had the worst commentators and they're no commentators. So mixed opinions.
I think our commentary again is adding intellectual subtitles to the game. You know,
Have to assume.
if you didn't have as much of a
Someone injured. And there seems to be an injury on the pitch. There's a round of applause. Number 13 from Grammar seems to have had a bit of an ouchie as he walks off the field.
a little bit of a boo-boo, but nothing that a kiss wouldn't fix.
Interesting tactic from Marist with the rotating of the people taking the goal kick.
It
We've had
is.
Armand, we've had Marcy.
It's
we've
like
had
a
Jack.
Russian roulette of who's going
It
to take
is.
the goal kick, and I think it adds a little bit of spice to the game.
I think they're trying to keep their opponents guessing. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out this afternoon.
I think the only thing that Marist have been guessing is what the scoreline's going to be, because at the moment it's looking like somewhat of a rout,
It does. It looks like an absolute.
looking like a little bit of a decimation, and I don't use that word often.
Yeah, I don't like to use a word like
I
that.
don't like to use the word in that context, but you know,
Sometimes it's the most appropriate word, and what can you do?
sometimes you just have to use it. Sometimes the situation calls for it, and I think now it's one of those times.
It begs to wonder, Sam. Are you going to come to training on Tuesday and get grilled by fitness, or are you just going to conveniently be injured on that day?
I'm conveniently out of the country.
See, my 12-week injury isn't looking so bad after all.
My span of being out of the country, fortunately, kind of gets me out of the angry period.
That's
so
all right,
I
quite
think,
fortunate.
I think we should be good. But you know, I've lots of walking around, lots of running.
That's it, you can-
I'll be bringing the boots with me. You know,
Absolutely. Get a run in when you can.
my spirit will be there.
Speaking of a man who can get a run in when you can, you always wonder if young David Saselja running the lines here. You always wonder if he chose Marist FC over CFC, how much better the team would be off today.
You know, what would the score be if he was there?
It'd have to be 17-0 to Marist, you'd assume. This man, he starts the first game. It's a very, very impressive to keep him.
If Mr. Saselja was playing, would we be asking the question, grammar who?
You see, we'd be making calls of the Croatian god at grammar as David nets his
Croatian.
hat-trick. I'd have to assume. But that's all hypothetical, isn't it? Jerry Firth, a bit of an eager tackle. He looked to have missed the ball, but missed the man as well. So no foul there. And Marcy's just used his body well to keep him out. And Jeremy's looking for some nice easy options, and he's found one wide with Benjamin Wade.
Now they've got a little bit of space to push. Let's see if they can get anything, but no.
Unfortunately, Grammar were just smothering them. Marist seemed to be unable to play.
It's been the story today, hasn't it, Ari? It's been a story of well, false endings, of red herrings, if you will.
Absolutely.
A game full of disappointment for the Marist boys.
Really
A
has.
game full of elation for the Grammar lads. And you can tell that it's been written on that whiteboard, grammar who, grammar us,
Yeah.
and they've really stick to that creed. to that
Well, that's a
doctrine.
great header.
Oh, it's a
Duffy with
good
great-
claim.
That's a great catch.
It's a good claim from the young lad.
See, he's done well to keep his head up during a tough outing. Again, you can't blame him for the goals. The defence has let him down a bit, but it always hurts the ego a little bit, no matter whose fault it is. So, that's a great flick on from Grammer.
It was a great flick on, but it's a great header from
Unfortunately, it's a great flick on to Monsad's direction. They look for a long
the
shot.
unintentional.
That's a handball by Grammer there, and it's going to the. There we go, Marist way for the free kick.
There's a man down.
Oh no. We looked at an injury here.
Couldn't care less though.
Look, I think remaining unbiased is the biggest responsibility we have here.
Sounds like Joe doesn't care about being unbiased.
I'm not a commentator.
Shades of James Cutsinus.
Yeah. Just got to stretch it out. I think he's
Maybe a bit of time wasting here.
Maybe. I don't think
no,
they really
I
have to
don't
wait so much.
I don't think they're worried that Marist are going to get 5 goals and beat them, but
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, 4 minutes, 5 goals. You know, if we, they
you're
go.
never safe. You're never safe.
You're
until
never
the full
safe.
time whistle's gone,
You know, until the fat lady sings, and right now she hasn't sung quite yet, and I think there's still time for anything to happen.
That's a phrase we try to avoid, Sam. We're commentating in 2020.
Sorry, the
No,
beautiful.
don't even try and change it.
Let me rephrase the beautifully weighted lady sings. The perfectly weighted lady sings.
Just keep it inclusive for all audiences, you know.
I don't like to be ableist. I don't like to
People.
be weightist. Again, you know, when I signed the contract, the multi-million-dollar commentating contract, in the clause was an unbiased
Yeah, absolutely.
clause.
And speaking of unbiased, this is a good touch down the line from Mitchell. Looks to cut him, but Jeremy Firth has sat him down.
Jeremy
Quite a vicious
Firth.
tackle, but he's got the ball, so the referee stays off the
Jeremy
whistle.
Firth probably the best player on the pitch,
Oh, beautiful.
Certainly for work ethic. The man doesn't stop running.
objectively, and wow, Alex has been superb
Alex has
today.
been fantastic. You have to say though, we can't be sounding solely complimenting Marist players. Each Grammar player has played their part in a huge win. They've done very well. 5-1 currently. Could be more. Could be less.
I think Son has done the most.
That's a good run.
Nice.
Good on you, Caden.
You almost got the ball. What's he
Almost
trying?
got the ball.
What's he trying there? The ball's well gone. That's just Caden Eady. A bit of a frustrated tackle. He's unhappy with today's game, so he's just taking his frustration out of it. Bryce looks to keep that in, and he's done well.
Oh,
He's been clipped there.
a little bit
You
Brexity.
want to see if, and these ground players are dropping like flies. I wonder is there something in the water maybe? The bubblers, something in the bubblers. It's just
Something in the bubblers, you know.
injury prone.
It reminds me of the Batman soundtrack, Something in the Way, but rather something in the bubblers, because it does seem to be a lot of cramping today.
This is the third player we've seen come off injured between the two teams. I can only wonder, is soccer a dangerous sport? Like, is it too dangerous to be sending our children to?
Look, you know, coming back to the Batman analogy, you know, he reps the doctrines of vengeance. Grammar have certainly been out for vengeance today.
Absolutely, they've done a good job. And they look to make it more as they enter the final third yet again.
They do look to add to the tally.
But Marist don't want to perk. Unfortunately, the ball go out and it looks to roll back into the gunner forward line yet again.
And as we close in to the 44th minute, what are your thoughts on today's performance from both teams, Ari? Just some final thoughts.
From a Marist point of view, I'd be really disappointed with the effort today. From Grammar's point of view, I'd be ecstatic. They obviously, you can obviously see the first game, they had a little bit of complacency, which is what benefited Marist to get the win. But you can see the table has turned and Marist went in a little bit too confident. Whereas Grammar really, they wanted the win and they've gone out and they've answered the Grammar Who question. So really big outing from Grammar today. You've got to be really impressed by their work.
I think that Marist kind of worry about the initial Grammar game. It fueled them. It really did fuel them throughout. It gave them that chip on that shoulder.
Absolutely.
And I believe that the chip today has been well and truly missing. And I think even they passed it onto the shoulders of the Grammar team. And that showed in the scoreline, hasn't it?
Absolutely. You really got to wonder how the momentum shifts. Grammar got a great positive shift of momentum, but can it go too far the other way? Can they get confident, overly confident?
And ladies and gentlemen, we do wrap up the game.
With the new commentary team, Ari and Sam, thank you very much for joining.
And we do hope to see you next time, but if we don't, goodbye all, and we do hope that you enjoyed the insight today and today's, well, landslide of a fixture.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to Anthony Trudy's channel, and we'll see you next time.
Bye guys.